I've been waiting for you.
Hello everybody, it is BYG Agami back with another video. I just want to say episode 8, and I'm just going to jump right into the answer of this open question, for me at least, is my favorite episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. I mean, it's just wonderful, like the whole introduction of Revolver, and I'm mostly going to be talking about Revolver since he is my favorite character, but so far, VRAINS has been good. I have not had any flaws with it. I think the most boring moments were probably like portions of the duels, like for example the Gohan Azuka duel. I like how they were trying to attempt that whole 3 ring count thing where Decode Talker and the Gohan Azuka's monster, I think it's called Org something, and I'm sorry I forget, where they kept on attacking until the 3 count, and then of course Go's monster lost. And I just thought it was kind of bad in terms of writing, how Gohan Azuka did not notice that Yusaku was of course going to do that with this monster, because one of his monsters allowed Decode Talker to take, I think it was 0 damage, and then in addition he was also able to increase his monster's attack points up. And if I totally butcher that or mistaken how the effects went out, please do correct me down in the comment section below. I'll definitely pin that. I'm really going off the top of my head right now because this is an open question. I really do feel as if for these type of videos it's really best to go on how you feel rather than writing down your thoughts. Anyhow, I do like episode 8, of course, with Revolver's introduction and that whole thing that Akira was doing to Yusaku, sort of just like inflicting damage upon him, trying to get the answers out of him. And it really shows how much he cares about his sister. I mean, what he did to Yusaku, along with what he stated. He said, I think in that episode, of the previous episode, most likely that episode 8, he's like, I have a little time left until the next board meeting. I'm probably going to be done for, so let me just take this kid out now, and let me just solve this issue now. And of course him and Emma go. And one thing I do like that this episode did was, with Emma, alright, she is supposed to be a bounty hunter. She is supposed to figure out who Yusaku Fujiki is and basically spy on him, essentially. And the fact that she did not know Revolver, she had literally no idea who Revolver is. And I think Akira does know who Revolver is a little bit, but they both definitely undermined him. That is a fact. They both undermined him. Emma didn't even know who Revolver was. And then Revolver's like, I have the ability to destroy Link VRAINS whenever I wanted. He didn't though. And that's two ways. He's just, chatting shit to basically boost up how powerful he is, which he was trying to give off. Or the other way could be he was waiting for Ignis, which I do like that he is very calm and patient. He's one of those people that wait until the end term, the long term, not really going at it fast, which he probably did trying to find Ignis, but he waited 5 years. I mean, for a human, for a mortal. I think on my previous videos, I stated how he is a mortal, alright? Just from what we have right now in terms of information about him. He's not like Darts. He's not like a Tim where they have some sort of, mythological powers or something like that, where they have some sort of abilities that allowed them to live such a lengthy life. This dude is immortal. For all we know, he didn't waste. He spent 5 years of his life trying to track down Ignis. That just shows his motivation and him trying to fulfill his father's dreams. So I do like that. Anyhow, there's another thing I do want to talk about. The bargaining. What's at stake? I mean, you got in this episode, Revolver going up to him, I'm going to dual Playmaker for Ignis. And if you win in a dual Playmaker, I will give the program to you, and you can give it to Akira Zaizen, and then Aoi Zaizen would be safe. I thought that was really cool in there as well. And man, I went on for a long time talking about the positives, and mostly this video is pertaining towards Revolver since I do like his character. But I liked, and I think one other thing I do want to talk about is, I would say, the animation of this episode. I think the way they drew that data storm was really cool, even though it was probably like a recycling of the data storm they use in each episode. I think that was really cool, the animation. However, guys, I want to know what your guys' favorite episode of VRAINS is. Please do comment that down below. Make a list. There's 8 episodes. You could probably do 1 through 8 if you guys wanted to, and if you guys are willing to. I probably wouldn't do that because I wouldn't really need to pop up the episodes right now, and I don't have Crunchyroll open. I will say this though, my second favorite episode is definitely the Gohan Azuka episode with Yusaku Fujiki, like when they were dueling, and how Go was, of course, doing it for his own reasons and in somewhat selfish reasons. He wanted attention along from the kids as well, but that's the main reason. But he also wanted attention for himself. And I think the best moment of that episode, definitely the highlight, was when Go went in. All right, he went into the adoption care place essentially where he was from, and he sees that the children are just looking at him and they're saying, "You're a champion, this, that." Even though he lost to Playmaker, they still looked at him and said that, man, this dude's really, he's still a G, he's still a champion in our eyes. And I like that. And you know what? I think I'm going to do this. I'm definitely going to do this. After this arc is done, after this arc concludes, which could probably be like Duel Monsters, where it's a 40 episode long arc, and I think that's how long arcs are in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I do recall GX Season 1 being around 40 episodes, the first arc. You know, there might be some filler in between, but I might do it where after this arc ends and concludes, and then we move on to the next arc, whatever it may be, I do a list on the top 10 moments of this arc, and I think that the Go Onizuka moment where he goes into the place where, you know, he used to live before he grew up and possibly got adopted, most likely didn't simply because we haven't seen his parents yet, the place where he grew up in, and then went in and saw the children's reaction and how they still liked him. Even though he took an L from Playmaker, he gave it all he got, which I liked. And I liked how Go Onizuka he took it like a man, right? He didn't complain, he didn't whine about it. He smiled and just really took this as a lesson, took this as a, how do I say this? Something to reignite the flame, something to reignite his passion, very similar to the duel that Tim had with Yugi in the final episode of GX. Judai lost his passion for dueling. He forgot what fun was, and he forgot his traits that he had as a character in the first early seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 1 and Season 2. And then, of course, that whole change occurred at Season 4. I mean, they went from random shenanigans, like all the Judai's friends getting killed in just one season. It's insane, all right? It's really insane. But it's similar to that, all right? And I think I'll actually chuck in one more episode and make this like a little mini list. But I definitely will in the future with Dimsy's Domain. We're going to be discussing about the first 10 episodes and what they basically are meant to be. And the good thing about these episodes, because every episode's been good so far, there's only been a few moments that have been boring here and there. But I would say the third episode that I really did enjoy, and please do comment down below your guys' best favorite episodes of VRAINS. I would say episode 1. I did a video a while back where I talked about, you know, reviewing each episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, and I really ripped apart VRAINS episode 1, and I think I put it on the bottom of my list. 5D's episode 1 was definitely on the, you know, lowest. That episode was pretty bad. And look, you guys have your opinions, I have my opinions, alright? Please do not get very harsh down in the comment sections. You can, of course, like, you know, have a little friendly conversation and debate with me, but I do not want to start a whole comment war about 5Ds and how, you know, I dislike episode 1 a lot. It just was my cup of tea. But VRAINS episode 1, after understanding how these episodes are supposed to work, and I'll just talk a little bit briefly on what's going to happen in that video that I'm going to do with Dimsy, where these episodes are essentially seeds, very similar to the early chapters in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga. They're seeds for answers to be answered in the future episodes of VRAINS and possibly future arcs. These are literally what the episodes are meant to be, and this is wonderful. Now, usually with Yu-Gi-Oh! This is how they go. They plant seeds in episode 1 and then it gets answered in episode 6. But these seem like they're going to be everlasting, or long-lasting rather. That's the better term to say. Long-lasting, and that are going to get answered later on in the series in episode 40 rather than like Duel Monsters where you got something from episode 2 and then it got answered in episode 8. And I do like that, and I like that whole formula that VRAINS is most likely going to follow into. And talking about episode 1, I think that them jumping straight in the action and putting some little seeds, planting some little seeds to be answered later on in the episode, or my bad, later on in the series is wonderful. I mean, just the whole action portion of episode 1 was good. We saw death in episode 1 as well. Of course, it wasn't real life death in the real world. It was more so in the Link VRAINS world. But I thought that was really cool. And we also got to see all the characters essentially that are important in the series, except for, you know, Dr. Kogami and Yamamoto. And I think I just butchered Yamamoto's name. Essentially the bird in VRAINS. Well, he really is an important character. He's more like a secondary character, but he's still comedy relief, right? But it's cool that we sort of got to see some information about the characters, like the Charisma Duelist. And just a little bit about Revolver and Spectre. Of course, Emma got introduced later on because of the whole soul technology thing, and you know, with the Playmaker and Link VRAINS and such. Anyways, guys, this video went on way too long. I had a lot to say. Please do comment down below your guys' favorite episodes for Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS 1 through 8. If you guys are watching this when 20 or 30 episodes have passed, please do comment them down below, because by the time you guys are watching this video, we've already seen those episodes. Check out the Facebook and Twitter fan page regarding Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. Thank you, and see you guys later.